Hello and welcome to the David Kurten Show here on today's News Talk TNT. Happy St. George's Day. It is the 23rd of April. So if you're out celebrating today, I wish you all the best. It's going to be a great day. Hopefully the weather will be good where you are. I haven't looked at the weather forecast today, so I'm not sure. But let's hope that we have some lovely spring sunny weather. We shall see. Now, the other thing that is big in the news today is something that happened late last night. The government finally passed its Safety of Rwanda bill after months of ping pong between the Commons and the Lords and lots of objections from the unelected House of Lords. They finally succumbed and stopped adding new amendments to the bill just shortly after midnight. And it then went back to the Commons for the final vote and passed by a majority of 75, as I understand. So it will then go to the King, who will give it royal assent in the next couple of days, and it becomes law. Now, to my mind, this is a really silly law because it mainly says Rwanda is a safe country. Well, Rwanda is a safe country, and we've known that. Obviously, it had some troubles in the 1990s that we all know about, but today it is doing very, very well, and it is has a high economic growth, lovely people, and it's generally safe to live there. What the bill also does, apparently, is it says that the UK government can ignore interim rulings from the European Court of Human Rights in Strasbourg. If human rights lawyers take this to that court, which surely they will do under the European Convention of Human Rights, because they don't want this scheme to succeed, we shall see what happens then. Will the government actually, when it's faced with defying the ECHR, fall back on this bill and send some flights to Rwanda anyway? We shall see what happens. Of course, what they really need to do, which they haven't done, and they're not going to do, is come out of the European Convention on Human Rights altogether. Rishi Sunak is threatening that he will do this and saying, oh, we'll do this, we'll come out of the ECHR. That is not anything else. But he hasn't done so. And then he's saying, well, if we're elected in the general election this year, which is highly unlikely, then we may come out and we may give notice to come out if we're re-elected in 2024, 2025. By that time, another year or 2 years will have passed, and another 100,000 or so military-aged men will have crossed the channel in small boats with not a single flight taking off to take some bogus asylum seekers to Rwanda. We shall see. They are saying that now this bill has passed, there will be the first flight to Rwanda taking off sometime in July. Whether that happens or not, we are yet to see. And the Home Secretary, James Cleverly, also promises that after the first flight, there'll be a second flight. And then there'll be a few more flights after that. How many? I don't know. Maybe there'll be 10, maybe there'll be 100. I don't know. I very much doubt it, because the scheme only allows for 200 people to go to stay in a nicely newly refurbished hospital in the capital, Kigali, for which the British taxpayer has already paid the government of Rwanda £120 million. Now, that's a lot for a 200-bed hostel, even in London. In Kigali, where prices are much cheaper than they are in the UK, it is an astonishingly huge amount of money that we've given to Rwanda. But the thing that is not being mentioned at all, the thing that is being hidden and suppressed, is that this is not a straight deportation deal for migrants, bogus asylum seekers, however few they are. It is actually an exchange program. Now, if you look at the actual document, which was published on the 14th of April 2022, just over 2 years ago, when this scheme was first proposed, in the local election campaign 2 years ago, where the fake Conservative Party knew they were going to do badly and they wanted to throw some red meat to their core voters to try to get them to vote for them, which they didn't. And they're doing the same thing this year. It's interesting timing that this has all gone through during another local election campaign. But the original document is called the Memorandum of Understanding between the government of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland and the government of the Republic of Rwanda for the provision of an asylum partnership agreement. It's not a deportation scheme. It is an asylum partnership agreement. And if you read some of the sections in the document, which most people haven't done, but I have, and you get nearly to the end, you get to section 16 of the document. And section 16 is entitled Resettlement of Vulnerable Refugees. And what it says will be quite shocking to you, but this is the absolute proof that it is not just about taking bogus asylum seekers from the UK to Rwanda. It's also about exchanging them for migrants from Rwanda to come back to the UK. It says, and I quote, the participants, that's the UK and Rwanda, will make arrangements for the United Kingdom to resettle a portion of Rwanda's most vulnerable refugees in the United Kingdom, recognizing both participants' commitment towards providing better international protection for refugees. So what this means, probably without specifically stating numbers, is that 200 bogus asylum seekers, maybe, if this bill does what the fake Conservatives say it will do, 200 asylum seekers will be put onto a plane in July and flown from London to Kigali, where they will go to a hostel in Kigali. And then 200 migrants from Congo who are in Rwanda, obviously seeking refuge from the horrible war in Congo, which is going on. We could say a lot more about why that war is there and how long it's been going on for, and how Western nations and Western corporations have been allowing it and prolonging it. That's a whole other issue, which I could spend another 10 minutes talking about. But some vulnerable refugees, 200 vulnerable refugees in Rwanda, will be put onto the plane and flown back to the UK, where they will receive the medical treatment and mental health care treatment that they will need, which is not available in Rwanda, but which is available in the UK at the expense of the British taxpayer, under our commitments to provide the best international protection for asylum seekers. That is the deal. That is the memorandum of understanding. 200 out, 200 in, 1,000 out, 1,000 in, 10,000 out, 10,000 in. That's the reality of this. Rishi Sunak and James Cleverly are not telling you that. And whatever they can do in their battles with the European Court of Human Rights in Strasbourg, that's the reality of the situation. It isn't going to reduce the number of the people in the country at all. And it's very much unlikely that it's going to prevent anyone from trying to cross the channel illegally. It is a complete farce.